Hundreds piled into MGM Park on Saturday for Field of Wheels, an invitational exotic car show right on the field where our beloved Biloxi Shuckers play. Well, they say records are made to be broken, especially when New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees is the one breaking them. Some might not find walking around in a cemetery a leisurely activity for a Sunday afternoon, but there was nothing creepy about the 12th annual Old Biloxi Cemetery Tour. From Bay St. Louis to Pascagoula, classic cars took the Gulf Coast by storm this past week and set the standard for the future of cruising the coast. Moss Point Mayor Mario King, along with the Moss Point City Council, plans to finalize the city's budget tonight. Last week, gambling regulators approved rules regulating sports betting in Mississippi. Now, state-regulated casinos will begin taking sports bets as soon as July 20th. The name of the deceased active-duty U.S. Air Force airman will not be released until 24 hours after a next of kin notification. Turned 1 today, and I've only had her since October, but many have heard me talking about Charlie and how I adopted her from the Jackson County Animal Shelter. I'm actually British and German, so I will actually be rooting for England in
I
the
had
FIFA World
about
Cup.
1% Japanese, so that's
what
I'm going for. Go Japan.
Yay! Jacket with your big muscles. Show us your pose.
I have none.
Yeah, we have none.
Hey, Tanner, I think you can tell I'm having a lot of fun right now. In fact, I'm in heaven because I got this little guinea pig here, and I've decided to name him Little Piggy Tanner.
Enjoying the snow as it comes down. You can see the flurries around her head. So, Taylor, what do you have for us out there?
Well, Ryan, you are totally wrong. I am not enjoying this weather. I think me and you both know how long I've been doing this job, and you know I don't like this cold, but you can definitely see the flurries are coming down. They're definitely hitting me in my face, and you can see that bush right there behind me. All of that is ice right around the bushes on the ground. Now, obviously, I'm not the very avid ice skater, but I've been working on some ballerina twirls. How does it look? I'm here at Hiller Park, and I've got my costume on. I'm a cute little cow, so I'm ready to go for this whole little shindig that's going to happen at 6 o'clock.
A lot of people are really enjoying themselves, including myself. Fuel is on stage right now, so I'm really trying my best to not sing along for you guys. That all that's said and done, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my cotton candy. Reporting live from the Mississippi Coast Coliseum, Taylor Rubach, News 25.
One safe way to remind yourself is the look before you lock technique. Get in the habit of always opening the back door and check the back seat before leaving your vehicle and make sure no child is left behind.
Little did you know, Ariel was flipping herself into success. Oh, it's National CB Week. The CB divers are here interacting and playing some tic-tac-toe and even making a splash with the crowd.
According to Lacey, beginning Monday to next Monday, we will experience an astronomical high tide of about 2 feet due to the southerly flow pushing in more water.
Clothing soaked in blood and skin now covered in wounds, something that Van Cleve resident Justin McMillan was not expecting to begin his day.
Grabbed this hand and pretty hard. He didn't want to let go. And that was when they just, all three, just started coming at me and biting my hands. And so I stood up because I knew I didn't want to be ground level with them.
It was just like any other day. Justin McMillan was leaving his home to begin his morning jog. That is until he became a victim in a vicious dog attack.
Jogging his normal route on Page Bayou Road, McMillan knew of the house that had pit bull breeds, but was never put in harm's way. He tells News 25 the dogs somehow managed to always get through the gate, but were usually friendly.
They were always, somewhat aggressive, but they came around pretty quickly. Today, they didn't come around at all. And when Big Boy got out there, I don't think I've seen that dog before. It all ratcheted up.
As he was screaming for help, a neighbor came to his rescue and called 911. Now McMillan suffers from severe bite wounds and has 9 stitches in his hands and leg.
It could have been a lot worse. I'm really thankful that lady came out when she did, because she was the only one that came out before PD got there, and she's the one who called PD because I couldn't, because I had blood all over my hands.
As for the owner, Wade Sistrunk will be charged with 3 counts of violation of county leash laws, and the dogs are at a possibility of being put down. And as for McMillan, he says from now on, he will carry protection with him at all times. Reporting in Van Cleve, Taylor Rubach, News 25.
As if Biloxi doesn't already have enough history in the city, there's something inside the Biloxi Police Department's building that dates back to the 1970s, the Wall of Death. Earlier today, I stepped inside the department walls and talked with Chaplain Robert Burris, the man behind the Wall of Death, who told me some of his most chilling homicides and suicides. Here's his story.
It all started with a pipe wrench.
Well, he took this wrench and beat her to death with it.
Biloxi's founder and former crime department head Robert Burris created this Wall of Death back in 1986. And within just a few short years, Burris flooded the wall with over 30 different objects from different crime scenes.
So to create this board, so to show our police officers what goes on the street out there, and explain to them the difficulty of putting these things together with fingerprints or whatever to bring a case to closure.
After signing off on them, Burris was able to keep an object from each crime scene, collecting dozens of guns, a shoe, even a pipe bomb, each telling a compelling story. But what's not framed on the wall are the weapons from Biloxi's notorious crime story, the Sherry murders. An interesting case Burris worked for over 3 days straight, never recovering the murder weapons.
FBI come in, of course, and helped us out, and we never let down on that case. I don't care what other people say. We never let up on it until it was done with.
Burris retired from the crime department in 2006 and came back 4 years ago as the chaplain and is still continuing to build a 50-year legacy.
He has done so much, and he's seen the history of the city of Biloxi and how it's changed. But he has seen policing in the old school, he's seen as it modernized, and he's still here today. He has combined policing, 50 years of policing experience.
Not even a current battle with leukemia is keeping Burris from living out his passion.
The way I feel about it, the Lord put me in this position to do this work, and I learned from it. So I can't say, you know, I'm real good at this or that or the other, you know, because without him, I'd be nothing. And I give him the credit for everything I did. It was good.
Burris was just recently diagnosed with leukemia this year and luckily was able to catch it early. However, Burris said that doctors are giving him 1 to 3 years to live, but he believes he'll be around much longer than that. Reporting live in the studio, Taylor Rubach, News 25.
You could be running into this store for just a few minutes, but those minutes could be the last of your child's life. As the temperatures begin to rise, law enforcement is urging families to never leave children inside a locked car unattended.
On average in the U.S., there's 37 deaths a year of children in vehicles, about 1 every 9 days. So it's obviously something that takes place. It's an issue. People really need to make sure that they just slow down and make sure they check their vehicles, and just, it's not worth that 1 or 2 seconds here or there.
One safe way to remind yourself is the look before you lock technique. Get in the habit of always opening the back door and check the back seat before leaving your vehicle and make sure no child is left behind.
James Carver with American Medical Response is all too familiar with hot car deaths and say this tragedy happens every year.
Going into a restaurant or something like that, or fast food, go through the drive-through. There should be never any reason to leave your kid in the car. Just running a quick errand inside. Take them inside with you. Don't leave them unattended in a car for any length of time at all.
But if you do happen to see a child or even a pet unattended in a hot, locked car, the first thing to do is call 911.
Get everybody en route, ambulance, fire department, police department, get them en route, and seek permission to see if you can break that window, try to get that kid out of that hot environment.
Taylor Rubach, News 25. Meet Pristina. She's the newest 3D mammogram technology at Singing River Health System.
So with this machine, we can slice through breast to look for tumors that may otherwise be obscured by regular mammograms.
James Carter is a diagnostic radiologist at Singing River. He says Pristina is the latest and greatest when it comes to performing mammograms.
It's similar to a mammogram where the breast will be compressed in 2 dimensions, but this machine moves back and forth to make these tomogram slices through the breast so you can see tumors a lot easier.
With this new breast imaging technology, specialists can detect and treat abnormalities at the earliest stages.
So it's high resolution, so we're getting just amazing images, and being able to look through that breast tissue 1 millimeter at a time is just amazing and a game changer.
And not to mention a lot faster and more comfortable.
Actually, it takes a little bit more. It's less than 10 seconds that the patient would be compressed. You don't have to hold your breath anymore, so that's always a good thing. But it's actually quick, and some women say a little bit more painless.
With breast cancer being the third leading cause of death for women in Mississippi, Dr. Carter says it's important to do your self-check breast exams and learn more about dense breast tissues.
Whether they have a positive family history, whether they have certain genetic markers for breast disease, whether they have dense breast or not. If they do, we can offer lots of screening tools for the disease. Ultrasound, we have the 3D tomography, also breast MRI.
Specialists say women over the age of 40 should have a mammogram done every year. In Ocean Springs, Taylor Rubach, News 25.